Good morning and welcome to another hopefully wonderful Wednesday. So as per my note, this class is about something that we have great control over to manage our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, and it's called the vagus nerve. This nerve runs from the brain stem, the base of the skull, the brain stem where it meets the spinal cord, all the way down to your small intestine. There are two of them. They run on either side of your spine and all throughout your body. They have branches into everything. And you can think of the vagus nerve like the data highway, in that your spleen or your liver, or maybe your stomach says, hey, need more stomach acid to digest this steak. So that signal goes up to the brain, and the brain, sends messages, neurotransmitters, to the places in the body where either the digestive enzymes are required or the hormones or whatever it is that's needed. And the importance of the vagus nerve, I think, particularly this day and age, is that it is the largest of the parasympathetic nerves. That is your rest and digest. There's nobody, pretty much nobody, and even reading, and I think you read Giselle's notes, we get notes from a woman who, and you know Giselle from the One of a Kind. She is a disciple of Thich Nhat Hanh, who passed away about 1.5 years ago, but reading her last newsletter, and if anyone would like to get them, they're very good. I sometimes think about forwarding them to you, to all of you, but I don't want to bombard you. She said, even the nuns and the monks in Plum Village experience stress and anger and upset. So, it's not about running away to an ashram thinking life will be perfect. I don't think it was designed to be that way, and probably we can use as one of the oldest books I ever saw when I kind of opened up to spirituality was Ram Dass's Grist for the Mill. So by using what's coming at us as an opportunity to make a choice about how we can handle all the stresses. I got an email while I'm making notes this morning that alluded to the fact that I might not have Wi-Fi. The first thing I did, and this was at 8:30 this morning. Did you get a note from, no, I did not get a note from Julian, or but the first thing I did was exhale. So what I want to do is sit up tall, and I'm going to remind you again, I said this before, that when we breathe in, we're activating our sympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest. Now, I would encourage most of you to put something under your behinds, underneath your butts, so you can easily sit up tall. If crossing your legs is uncomfortable, do something else. If you're at home and a chair is better, then sit in a chair. So when we breathe in, and actually, let's just focus on, or let me just finish that one sentence, is that when we breathe in, we activate our sympathetic nervous system, our alert. We're alert, we're here. And then when we exhale, we're letting go of a lot of toxins and stress. So what I want you to do though right now is just focus on breathing just into your chest, okay? A lot of people just chest breathe. In fact, when we're nervous, we don't even take the time to activate what I'll talk about in a moment. So just breathe into your chest, close your eyes. And when you're just chest breathing, so just try to breathe into the top of your body, the top of your lungs only. Notice your shoulders are also probably moving. Just have a notice here. So you're just chest breathing, which means you're not going to take in much air and you're not going to release much carbon dioxide. And sometimes that happens. But awareness is the first step to every challenge, every problem. It's just being aware of it. No blame, no shame, no guilt. No, it just is. This is what it is. Now, let's breathe in the way that we normally would when we're practicing yoga. And let's breathe into the diaphragm and the belly through the nose if you can, unless you're plugged. When we breathe into the nose, the fine hairs and the lining of mucus inside of the nostrils will deter dirt, viruses, bacteria from coming into our lungs. And I remember talking about this during COVID, nose breathing as opposed to mouth breathing. And the other advantage of breathing through your nose is that you actually get more oxygen directly into the alveoli, where that exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen takes place. Now, when it comes to the vase, so this is, I'm just sorting out this breathing issue. So continue to breathe into your belly. I want you to stick your fingers into your ear canals. And then just above the ear canal, just take that little bit of a flap or a little bit of skin. So it's right above your ear canals. You're sticking your fingers into your ear canals. The vagus nerve runs through this area, and just move it up and down. Just slide up and down. Just that little area above the opening of the ear canal. If you get massages, often the masseur will work around your earlobes. The other option, behind your ears, just where your hairline is, again, using your fingers just to pull the skin back and forward. This is what activates your vagus nerve, your parasympathetic rest and digest. Okay, so these are two little techniques. Now, often we do palming, and what I'm going to ask you to add to eye palming, you're going to rub your palms together. It's called cinema interne, but that's not very good French, but it's kind of an internal cinema. And what you're going to do is press lightly with your palms over your eyes. You're going to use a finger, and you're going to press lightly on your eyelids. So just press and watch the shadows and the light show. The vagus nerve is also running through your eyes. It's running throughout your body, as I said. So just check out, and you only need to press lightly. Please don't press hard. Release your fingers. Keep your hands over your eyes. Now just this pressure around your eyes activates your ocular nerve, your eye. It's an eyeball nerve and muscle. This can also relax your parasympathetic nervous system. And then wash your face with your hands. So when you're sitting at your computer, I mean, it's hard to remember, but the more we practice when we're not stressed out, the more we have access to these tools when we need them. So you read an email and it's like, are you kidding me? You know, there's a few things you can do there. Okay, so just closing your eyes gently. Feeling your sits bones pressing into your cushion, your chair, and remembering if anything is uncomfortable, release your legs. We don't need to pull focus with any added strain or especially pain. Sitting up nice and tall, inhaling, lifting up through the crown of the head, and then exhale and drop your chin towards the center of your throat. So the vagus nerve is running through the larynx, the pharynx, the vocal cords. And then on an inhale, let's draw a circle with the nose, bringing the nose over towards the right or the left, doesn't matter. You can make circles with your nose. You're drawing a circle with your nose, activating and stimulating. And then when you're coming down, back down to the center, you're exhaling. Let's do this one more time on whatever side you're doing it on. Inhaling, synchronizing the breath as you get to the top. Exhaling on the way down, activating, enlivening the vagus nerve, the largest nerve of the parasympathetic nervous system. And then let's inhale and go the other way, drawing a circle with your nose. To the top, exhaling on the way down. And one more circle, inhaling, synchronizing breath with movement, if possible, through the nose. And exhaling And then bring your head back into the center, aligning your ears with the center of your shoulder. Now, the vagus nerve absolutely runs on either side of your cervical vertebra. I hope you're starting to feel your vagus nerve kicking in here. But, you know, when somebody's tense, we often do reach for their shoulders, or maybe if your jaw's tense. I remember a couple weeks ago, we did our Simhasana, sticking your tongue out. That releases lots of tension. If you're being followed by somebody, try it too. They'll probably run the other way real fast and report you to the police. That's fine. All right, so just on either side of your neck vertebra. Now, doing this for somebody else can stimulate their vagus nerve and relieve a lot of tension. And we do these things sometimes without even, you know, being aware that this is what we're stimulating, the vagus nerve. And I do recommend getting massages. You know, find somebody that you enjoy. That is a great tension tamer and release. And then shake your hands out and give your head a bit of a swing in that yes, no, and let your jaw relax. Ah. Okay, so let's come on over onto our backs. We're going to draw our knees up into our chests, Apanasana. So when we bring our knees into our chest and we come onto our backs, we're releasing some gas or just general discomfort, possibly. You don't do this on a full stomach, of course. So you're holding your knees towards your chest, trying to relax. You may do a little rocking from side to side. Remember, the vagus nerve goes all the way down to the small intestine. When we're having digestive issues, typically we're in our fight or flight, or we've eaten improperly. Of course, that's, you know, or we're taking a medication that might be affecting us. We need to think about what is it that's bringing us discomfort before we can actually do anything about it. And then extend your left leg straight down in front, and then interlock your fingers 2 inches below your knee of the right shin, and really pull in here, pressing on the ascending colon, and then bringing your left hand to the outside of your right knee and bringing the right knee across the body over to the left, being gentle. Twisting is excellent also for innervating your vagus nerve. So there's 2 of them, one on either side of the body. We often hear about the brain-gut axis. It's a bit of a highway, and it is the vagus nerve, as I said, that sends the information from the organ, from the gland, up to the brain, and the brain makes a decision on what the body needs. And in this way, when we honor, listen, and just bring gentle, non-judgmental awareness, that's the definition of mindfulness, non-judgmental awareness. If we start judging, well, that activates the part of the nervous system that we probably don't want activated, this fight or flight. And then bring that knee back towards you. Bring the knee in towards the chest and straighten the leg without locking the knee. And you don't need to, only straighten it as much as you can. Reach your fingers up towards your ankle, whatever height you can get it to, and then pull that leg towards you, further compressing into the large intestine, the ascending colon, breathing. If you can make your exhalations longer than your inhalations, you will also be activating your parasympathetic nervous system. Remember, breath in is the sympathetic, breath out is the parasympathetic. And then bend the leg again, bringing the knee towards the chest. Let's bring the other knee up. Extend your right leg down in front, or the opposite leg if you were on the other side, it's okay. And interlocking the fingers 2 inches below the knee, pressing your thigh into your descending colon. And then with your right hand, your opposite hand on the outside of the opposite knee, draw it across your body, extending the opposite arm out to the other side. So again, we're twisting the spine, but of course, paying attention to all the little nerve endings, activating all the little nerve endings that extend into the stomach, the spleen, the liver, the kidneys, and of course, the heart, the throat area. It's always a nice time too to practice ujjayi breathing, gargling, humming, singing. As I cleaned the room last night, I played some Beatle music, I played some other stuff, I sang along, kept my vagus nerve very happy while I was cleaning things up. And inhale, come back onto your backs, draw that left knee in towards your chest, reach your hands towards your ankle, straightening your leg as much as you can, and then pulling the leg towards you, further mobilizing the energy and activation in the descending colon. And bend the leg. And let's bring the other knee back up, interlocking your fingers together around your shins. Can you interlock your fingers, holding your shins in place? Inhaling in place, bless you. Exhale, just lift your head up and bring your forehead towards your knees, whatever amount you can. All compression here in the throat and in the abdominal area helps to remove toxins, waste, and open up energy in areas that could be blocked when we release. Keep your knees bent, release your head to the floor, plant both soles of the feet on the floor with the knees bent, align your heels with your sits bones. Bring your arms beside your body with your palms facing down. Lift your shoulder blades up and tuck them under. And then bring your chin towards the center of your chest. And on an inhale, press your lower back into the mat. So we haven't done anything other than pressing your lumbar spine into your mat, activating abdominal organs. And then let's peel the spine off the floor, lifting up. So this posture can help reduce acidity in your digestive area. Now we need a lot of the enzymes, digestive enzymes are acid, some are alkaline, most of them are acid. But too much acid in the body, I think we all know, acid reflux, not a good time. Indigestion, not fun. As I've said before, if you know your blood type, A blood types typically have less stomach acid, and why, if you're experiencing indigestion, you may want to think about introducing more plant foods, plant proteins, instead of the animal proteins that require acid for digestion. So people with A blood type, myself, I have less Hydrochloric acid, that's the stomach acid that we need to digest food. And as we age too, the levels of hydrochloric acid typically decline. And one more breath in, pressing up. This lock at the throat, of course, is also helpful and useful for releasing toxins, waste, and other things that could impede the flow of energy as you release your lower back through the throat area and coming back down onto your mats. And just take a moment here to breathe through your nose, exhaling also through the nose. In fact, let's count. Inhaling to the count of 3, 2, 1. Exhale to the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling to the count of 1, 2, 3. Exhaling to the count of 4, 3, 2, and 1. So your vagus nerve right now should be fairly content and having good communication with the rest of your body. You can either roll over onto your side and use your top arm to press yourself up, or bring your knees towards your chest, place your hands underneath the backs of your thighs, and rock up and come on to all fours. Cat-cow is a beautiful way of gently stimulating your vagus nerve. So your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. If you find this difficult on your wrists, then come over onto your onto your knuckles, or extend your wrists a little bit further forward. On an exhale, round your spine, pull your bellies in, drop your tail, tuck your chin. On an inhale, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back, draw your heart center forward, lifting and arcing through the neck, eyes rolling up. Exhale, flatten the tops of your feet. Coming into cat, round your spine, really pull your navels in towards your inner spine, dropping your head, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back, draw your heart center forward, lengthening, shoulders away from ears, eyes rolling up to Ajna Chakra. Exhale, that is your third eye in the center of your forehead, cat. Inhale, curl your toes under. Lifting, rounding up through the neck. Last time, flatten the tops of your feet. Pull your bellies in towards your spine, rounding it a lot. And last time, for curl your toes under, coming into cow. And coming back to neutral. Let's thread the needle. Sweep your right arm up, stretching up. Exhale, underneath the other arm, releasing shoulder and side of face to floor. If you find it uncomfortable, you can place your cushion, a block, or something under your head. And then if you wish, tippy toe the fingers of the other hand out in front. So twisting poses are excellent for activating and stimulating your vagus nerve. The largest and most important nerve in your parasympathetic nervous system. Reducing stress goes a long way to improving our health, our well-being, and then draw the other hand that was extended out in front back under the shoulder, coming back into neutral. Inhale, sweep the other arm up, looking up. Exhale, thread the needle, bringing shoulder, side of face, down onto the floor. If there's too much pressure on your head in this position, you may be too far in front of your knees. So just bring your upper body back towards your knees if you find too much weight on your head. And of course, twisting positions are excellent to improve digestion, peristalsis, that's the movement, transit. We don't want the transit of food to be too quick, nor do we want it to be slow. So eating slowly, chewing your food well, eating mindfully, not doing anything else while you're eating. It's difficult. Deepak Chopra, I don't know if he follows his own advice, but he always says, don't do anything else while you're eating. I know we socialize while, with eating, and it's kind of nice, but it's not very helpful to your digestion unless you're really focused and aware of chewing your food and enjoying it. And let's come into our modified child's pose, Balasana. Take your knees as wide as your mat, flatten the tops of your feet. Slowly, if you're prone to cramping, slowly take your hips back towards your heels. Release your torso between your thighs. If it's comfortable, rest your forehead on your mat and stretch your arms out in front. And if not, you can always fold your forearms and create a pillow for elevation and comfort in Balasana. Breathing into your side and back ribs. Continue to breathe through your nose. Inhale. Come on back onto all fours. Curl your toes under, pressing your fingers, palms. Fingers are spread out, middle finger forward. Pressing your fingertips into the floor. Lift your hips up, come into a soft dog. Let your upper body hang between your arms, and let's gently walk the dog. So one leg straight, one bent. Changing. Doing this mindfully. Relax your neck. Let your head hang. Breathing. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Keep your knees soft. Let your upper body just hang over your thighs. Let your knuckles kind of drag on the ground, keeping your knees bent, and relax your neck. And then pressing the soles of your feet into the floor, let's slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, keeping your chin tucked into your chest and letting your head be the last thing to come up. And then inhale, shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, take your arms behind your back, interlock your fingers, keep your knees soft, squeeze your shoulder blades together, imagining they might even be kissing. And then lifting your hearts and your gaze. Take your feet a little wider apart, toes pointing outwards. Exhale, forward fold, slowly bringing belly between thighs, chest towards knees, arms up and over whatever amount you can, and let your head just hang. Keep your knees bent, please. Release your arms. And again, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Letting your arms hang, keeping your chin tucked into your chest. Let your head be the last thing to come up. Interlock your fingers the opposite way. Just feel it. You'll notice. And then again, squeezing your shoulder blades together, taking your shoulders back. They spend so much time in forward flexion. Exhale with your arms externally rotated, bending. Keep your knees soft. Releasing your torso between your thighs, letting your head hang. If you just move your head a little bit, you'll notice whether or not you're holding. Let go. Relax comes from a Latin word which means to let go. And then release your arms. Walk your feet back in towards one another so they're parallel to one another. And slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, keeping your chin tucked into your chest. And coming up to the fronts of your mats for a slow Surya Namaskar. Whoops. Taking a sip of water whenever you feel, coming up to the fronts of your mat. So you should be feeling pretty relaxed at this point because you're mostly in your parasympathetic nervous system. This is where your body and your mind and everything does its healing. It's sleeping is also where we heal, but some of us are struggling with sleep. So just consider spending a little more time and energy on your vagus nerve. Inhaling in place. Lift your toes off the floor. Feel your big toe mount, your baby toe mount, the center front of your heel. Exhale. Lower your toes to the floor. Bring your hands into prayer. Receiving strength from a higher power. Take your feet apart. Reach your arms up, stretching, arcing back, lengthening, stretching out through the abdominal digestive organs. This gets into your kidneys and your adrenals beautifully, purging them of energy that is no longer useful. Inhale, bring your feet back together. Lift out of your waist, stretching up, hinge from your hips. Stretch forward, keep stretching as you fold, bringing your fingers to the floor. We are humble. We are open. We understand humility opens us. Pride closes us. Step your left leg back and drop the knee to the mat. Bring your hands onto your front thighs. Focus your gaze. Inhale, press through that back heel. Focus your gaze for balance. Sweep the arms up. If you need to keep your knee on the floor, it's okay. But your back leg will be your anchor. You can stay on the floor. You can keep your knee on the floor. If you're struggling, just leave that back knee on the floor and lift your arms up. Yep, focusing your gaze. And then turn your palms forward and bring them down on either side of your front mat, coming into a push-up or plank position. The full plank may not be good for you today, and if that is the case, release your knees to the mat, lift your ankles and feet off the floor, cross at the ankle, and then you can adjust how much strength you want to place into your upper body by drawing the upper body forward. If you're in your full plank, please engage your core by pulling your navel towards your inner spine. See your body as a straight line from the crown of your head right down through the heels, pressing all 10 fingers into the mat with space inside of your palms, your carpal tunnel. And then release your knees to the mat. Flatten the tops of your feet. Leave your hands where they are. And slowly take your hips back towards your heels, releasing your abdomen on your thighs. Exhaling, inhaling. And then leaving your hands where they are. Stay low as you come forward. When you're able, release your chest and your chin onto the mat. For those of us who are tight through the upper back or shoulders, this will be awkward. It will feel difficult. Just do your best. That's all we ever want to do, is what we can do that's our best and best for us. Nobody else, just us. Slide everything behind you. Now, if you ran out of runway, i.e. if your feet are off the mat, then scoot yourself forward. Draw your fingertips back to align with the tops of your shoulders. Release your forehead onto the mat. Bring your elbows into your side body and press your forearms down towards the floor. Gently press your hips and pelvis into the mat, coming into baby cobra. We're going to roll an invisible alley with our nose to lengthen our neck, looking down at the mats. On an inhale, you're pressing the tops of your feet, your hips, your pelvis, and lifting head, neck, shoulders, and chest off the mat. Lifting up whatever amount you can without using your hands to press you up, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. This compression on the abdominal organs, again, helpful for purging waste toxins and just basically enervating this area to be active in a healthy way. Eyes can be open or closed, rolled up towards your third eye, your seat of intuition, Ajna chakra. One more breath in, lifting. Exhale, lengthen as you lower. Curl your toes under. Press into your hands. Now you may just want to press up onto your knees first, or if you're able, lift your hips next, and then walk your feet a few inches forward. And then press your belly onto your thighs. Press your chest towards your knees. Align your ears with your inner arms and press your sits bones towards the back of your mat. And now release your heels towards the floor and receive nourishing earth telluric energy through your palms and the soles of your feet. And breathe. You can feel the energy surging through your body in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Check in with your neck here. Let your head relax, your neck relax. Lift your left leg up in the air, bend at the knee, tip it over to the right, and maybe look under your right armpit and see your foot. Hello. And then bring the leg back. Look at your left hand. Swing that foot as far forward as you can. If it doesn't go far enough, drop the other knee, pick it up at the ankle, and move it back to the front of your mat. And then bring your other leg forward and let your upper body just hang. Let your head hang. Arms beside your ears. Engage your thighs, lifting up on your kneecaps. Pull your bellies in to protect your lower back. Sweep the arms in front, reaching up, arcing back, tall and strong as a mighty oak. Inhale, bring your feet back together. Lift out of your waist. Exhale, forward fold. Let your heads hang. Bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, hands in prayer, Anjali Mudra. And just spend a moment standing tall, knowing there's a higher power both within and without of us. And release. Let's do one more round. Inhale, exhale, hands in prayer, pressing your thumbs up against your heart center. Take your feet apart. Arms up, arcing back, lengthening, stretching, expanding. Inhale, bring your feet back towards one another. Lift out of your waist, hinge from your hips, reaching forward. Let your head hang. Stepping your right leg back, drop the knee to the mat. You can stay right here. You don't need to lift that back knee off the mat if you don't wish to. You can just sweep your arms up, or if you can, taking the back knee off the floor, press into your back heel. Press that way. Sweep the arms up. Focus your gaze somewhere in front of you. On the floor is always a good spot. Fingers are active. By practicing balanced postures, we activate our proprioceptor muscles, and we also can experience a different type of calm. Holding, balancing. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart. Take that front leg back, coming into your version of plank position. Shoulders away from the ears. Pull your bellies in, pressing all 10 fingers into the mat. Breathe. As I've mentioned many times before, practicing plank posture will build strength throughout your entire body very quickly if you practice it. Not too much, not too little. Listen to your bodies. Release your knees. Flatten the tops of your feet with your toes pointing backwards. Leave your hands where they are and slowly take your hips back towards your heels. Following the movement of your body, feeling what's going on, and becoming aware of your breath. When we worry and we have fear of the future, kind of like being in a rocking chair. You're moving, but you're not getting anywhere. You're not accomplishing anything. And I'm not down on rocking chairs. I'm really talking about if you're not in the present moment, you'll be less powerful in the future. So by being mindful, reconnecting with your breath, it's the most natural thing in the world, and it's the thing we spend the least amount of time thinking about, and yet it can have the biggest impact on our health, our stress levels. Leaving your hands where they are, stay nice and low, release your forearms and elbows onto the mat, keep your bum high, and when you're able, release your chest and chin onto the mat. Nourishing for the adrenals that are little peanut-sized glands that sit on top of your kidneys. Slide everything out behind you. If your feet are off the mat, come forward and then release your forehead onto the mat. Draw your fingertips back to align with the tops of your shoulders. Bring your elbows into your rib cage or side body, and then press your forearms down towards the floor. If you're considering coming into the fuller expression of Cobra, widen your feet and roll your baby toes in towards the edge of the mat. So pressing the tops of your feet into the floor, especially your baby toe, Your hips and pelvis are also pressing gently into your mat. Roll an invisible alley with your nose to lengthen your neck. On an inhale, we're all coming up into baby bhujangasana, baby cobra. We can stay here or we can press the floor away from us. Be mindful that your elbows stay aligned with your wrists and your shoulders, and that your shoulders continue to draw away from your ears, eyes rolling up. Try not to clench your butt muscles, but breathe. One more breath in, lifting, exhale, and lengthen as you lower. Bring your feet back together, curl your toes under, press into your hands, come up onto your knees or lift your hips up, walk your feet a few inches forward, bend your knees, press your belly onto your thighs, press your chest towards your knees. Let your ears hang right inside of your arms. And then when you're pressing your sits bones towards the back wall, and then press your heels also towards the floor. It matters not if your heels are on the floor. Just enjoy the stretch in the backs of your legs, your calves, especially your Achilles tendons. If you're racket sports players, really important to keep your Achilles tendons stretched. They're more relaxed when they're stretched. Lift that right leg up in the air, bend at the knee, tip it over towards the left, looking under your armpit, and then bring it back behind, and then look at your right hand, swing that foot as far forward as you can, other foot forward, let your upper body just hang. Once again, stretching out the lumbar, the lower spine. Let the weight of your head stretch out your cervical vertebra. Bring your arms beside your ears. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Pull your bellies in. Sweep the arms in front, reaching up. Feet apart for balance. Look up, arcing back. Inhale, bring your feet back together. Lift up out of your waist. Exhale, reach forward as you fold. Let your heads hang. Bend your knees. Sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, hands in prayer, coming to the center of your chest. And just spend a moment and release. And then give your legs a good shake out. Take a sip of water whenever you need. This is the Gayatri mantra that's playing right now. It's one of my favorite mantras. And so I did remind you, singing, humming, gargling, if you can't sing or hum, will activate the vagus nerve in the throat area and makes us maybe feel easier just about speaking our truth, kindly and lovingly. Okay, we're going to do a little more vigorous movements, but we're not going to do them quickly. So coming up to the front of your mat, we're going to come into triangle pose, Trikonasana. So this is great for, again, for digestive, strengthening this area. Stepping your right foot back. Make sure the heel of your front foot creates a straight line through the arch of your back foot. Your back foot should be pointing slightly forward, but your front foot is exactly 90 degrees forward. Okay, legs are going to stay straight, and you definitely need lots of room between your legs to pull this one off. And if you don't have stickies on your socks, you should be in bare feet, okay? I want you to be safe. So the heel of your front foot, look it down. It should be a straight line that runs parallel to the outer edges of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. Fix your gaze over your front fingertips and lower your shoulders. Now, When you engage your thighs and you press into the outer aspects of your feet, you lifting your arches and you're activating your inner thigh adductor muscles. Okay, this is important. And then reach forward until you can't reach any further. You don't bend, just reach forward. And that's as far as you can go. And then just let that front arm fall inside of your front leg and reach the top arm up. Lots of people think their bottom fingers need to be on the floor and they lose the integrity of the posture. If you were up against a wall right now, both of your shoulder blades would be touching the wall. If we had the space, we would do it. So if you practice at home, you can practice this up against the wall. And then inhale, come on back up. Bend your front knee, coming into warrior two. Now lifting up at the sternum, lower your shoulders, lengthen your neck, and fix your gaze over your front fingertips. Stretching your arms, inhale in place. And remember, if you lift up in your arches, you activate your inner thigh, your adductor muscles. Lower your back arm, down your back leg, coming up into peaceful, exalted warriors. So stretching up, energy is up. Fingers are active. Inhale, coming back to warrior two, and then bring your back leg forward. Give your legs a shake out. Let's do the other side. Stepping left leg back. So get your alignment just right. Heel of front foot creates a straight line through the arch of your back foot. And you should have about 3 feet apart here. And legs stay straight. Legs are straight, very straight. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. Fix your gaze over your front finger. Straighten your front leg, Cal. And then reach over your front leg. Just reach, not down. You're just reaching forward. Okay, lower that front arm organically inside of your front leg. Reach your top arm up. Reach and stretch up. Breathing through your nose if you can. Fingers are really active, they're alive. Inhaling, coming back. And then bending your front knee, coming into warrior two. Don't let your torso lean forward. Keep it straight up and down. Shoulders over hips, wrists over ankles. Lower your back arm down your back leg and stretch up with that front arm. And look up if you can. And breathe. Feel the parts of your body that's being stretched and feel the part that's being compressed. And coming back to warrior two, keeping your feet wide apart, turning sideways on your mats. Bring your arms out to the side, 5 pointed stars, engage your thighs, bend from the tops of your legs, your hips bending forward, flat back, tabletop your spine, tent your fingers on the mat in front of you. Inhale, sweep the left arm up, reaching up, stretching up, maybe looking up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, sweeping the other arm up, reaching up, stretching up, maybe looking up. Exhale, float it down. Let's walk our feet in towards one another and slowly roll up. We're going to do one more posture. It's called Uddiyana Bandha. Now, a couple things. While you're making your coffee in the morning, you could always do a couple of sun salutations. Yes, no, maybe? While you're waiting for dinner, maybe you could do this, Uddiyana Bandha, and get those digestive juices flowing. The whole idea about strong digestion is anyi, a fire. Guess what happens when you pour water on a fire? Yeah, try not to drink a lot of fluids while you're eating foods. Okay, if you have to, just little sips. Better to drink the water before you start eating. And then you don't dilute your digestive juices. I mean, and I've said this before, when I go into seniors' homes and I see them drinking ice water, it's like, but I understand meds can give them dry mouth, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, but if we can avoid all that, we'll have better digestion naturally. Okay, so Uddiyana Bandha, many of you have done this before. You're going to bend your knees. You're going to place your hands on the tops of your thighs. And you're going to inhale in place. And you're going to exhale. Inhale. And then exhale all the air out. All of it, all of it, all of it, all of it, all of it. And when all the air is out, even a false exhalation, you're going to pull your bellies up as if you were pulling it up and under your rib cage. And I can't talk and do this well. So all the air out. When you need to breathe, of course, you're going to stand up. So stand up and take a deep breath. But you really, the key is to empty all the air out, okay? You have to do that. You can't pull this off. So the other thing we can do, and many of you have done this with me, is that, and I'll just show you. Now that obviously massages your abdominal organs. How good is that? Your stomach, your spleen, your pancreas, your intestines, they're all like smiling right now. They feel the love, okay? So if you want to try that, otherwise just holding it is great too, okay? Your choice. So placing your hands on your shins, inhale and exhale. One more inhale. And then a full exhalation. And with the air all out, even a false exhalation, you may be able to draw your abdominal muscles in and out, in, out. Great work, everybody. Okay, take a sip of water if you like. And if you have an eye cushion or pad, place that over your eyes. And if you don't have one, even your sweater or something that you have nearby is great. Please feel good about your efforts. Thank you for working hard and showing your vagus nerve some love. That's what it's all about, love. So as you bring yourself into the posture that allows integration and absorption of the benefits that you're receiving from what you have just done, separate the biting surfaces of the teeth, relax your jaw. You might lengthen your neck by pointing your chin towards the notch in your throat. If it feels okay, have your palms turned up in the open and receiving position. Let your feet splay out. And finally, allow your bodies to be soft and heavy. Today, most of us are living with sensory overload, information overload. Some of us are feeling fearful about the future, not just for ourselves, maybe for our families, our children, our grandchildren. But because fear exists mostly in the future, let's just stay present. Present in gratitude, present in breath awareness. This is what will give us the strength and the resilience to handle whatever's coming at us. And don't forget the law of karma. I never feel I need to take retribution against any of my enemies or adversaries. I feel that karma will take care of everything in the short and or the long run. In fact, developing compassion for our enemies is a key to maintaining peace. And I think of two people that come to mind: Jesus on the cross, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. Whether this is a true story or not, I like the essence of forgive them, they know not what they do. Or Mahatma Gandhi, when he was shot, advised the people to not harm his brother. I mean, clearly, this takes great faith. And when we think about hope, do we see it as an emotion, or do we see it as an action? There's much for us to consider as we navigate our lives and get in touch with reality, that everything we love and everything we find precious one day will be all gone in the form that we know it and love it. So when we know the reality and we live in the present and we get all the juiciness of the joy of a sunrise, of watching squirrels, whatever it is, we become grateful. We might walk around with a smile on our faces all day, which takes a lot less muscles than frowning, and it's a lot more pleasant for other people to see. And it's amazing. If you have a smile on your face, it's a little bit, if not a lot, contagious. Other people smile. So peace begins inside with us. Inhaling the life force long, full, and deep. And deep. Exhaling. Long, full, deep. Inhaling. And deep. Exhaling. Stretch your arms over behind your heads. Reach and stretch. Point feet far. Flex and point. And drop your arms down by your sides. Rolling over onto your side. Taking your time to bend your knees. And using your top arm when you're ready to press yourself back up into a seated position. I love the title of a book. I own it. I still haven't read it. But the idea is living with grit and grace. So much to learn, much to aspire to, but just going through your day with gratitude is a great start. And have a good one. Namaste.